Hello, fellow traders. It's Nutty Bar, and it's time. Let's do the recap. This is the recap for Friday, February 21st. And oh man, we need to do this recap. It was a crazy day. I'll show you guys, but um man, disaster averted. I feel like is the title of this video. I haven't fully decided what my title is going to be on this video, but man, we almost had a major catastrophe. Did not trade well today at all, and to be quite honest, my P&L, it feels like it's better than it should be, because yeah, it was ugly. It was very ugly for quite some time, and we're just gonna go through it. I'm gonna just I'm just gonna show you guys the trades I took, and you're gonna scratch your head. You're gonna think, man, this guy is crazy. Has he ever traded before in his life? You're gonna question all kinds of things, but it is what it is. We're gonna show it, and this is what happens when I go into the day. I talked about it this morning on stream, but I went into today. I feel like we need to do a little bit of maintenance, or just so yesterday, I always look at the day before. I look at the 4-hour time frame, and yesterday we had this massive sell-off, but then the rest of the day we just made higher highs, and we just had a slow grind higher all day long yesterday. The overnight session, we actually closed the gap all the way up higher. And I always do like an analysis. I kind of look at the market and I kind of create at least a game plan. I don't know that you want to call it a game plan, or maybe a bias. And today it definitely got me. I was biased that we're going to see a move lower, and then we're going to, we're going to keep going higher. Not similar to yesterday. I wasn't expecting that big of a sell-off, but I was expecting, some sort of sell-off in the morning, and then we'll go higher. And that's what I was looking for. For some reason, those that have followed me for a long time, I always say, go with the trend. Trend is your friend. That's a saying I use a lot. And my core strategy is to wait till we have a trend, wait for a pullback, and then enter on that pullback and trade with the trend. Like, that's my core strategy. It's literally what has gotten me basically almost to a payout on these Apex accounts. And yeah, today for some reason I was just so convinced that the market's going to reverse, that I looked for a different setup, basically my reversal strategy where I'm looking for. And we're going to kind of slowly reveal some of these trades. But the first trade I took was here. Break above the 22,100s. Took this trade, got stopped out for $160 loss. And when we failed to make new lows here, I got in again, and I took another $166 loss. So back-to-back losses in a row, and then took another trade right here, and I took another loss, and that was a $240 loss. So if you're keeping track, that's like a little bit over $500 in losses. And this is actually where I ended my stream. So I end my stream right here. I was pretty frustrated, and I still wasn't convinced. Like, I was still convinced that we're going to go higher. And I ended stream with the intent to just shut it down. It's one of the things, like, if I do come in with a bias, and if I start to fight the trend and I take some losses, it's best just to walk away. Before I walked away, we had this new high. We failed to make new lows, and yeah, I got in again. took a long setup, actually had a good trade. I took a long setup. I took profit right here for a $100 win. Basically, it was a $200 trade, and I kind of got a little bit too confident. We started to put in this kind of channel right here, and I started buying at the bottom of this channel with the intent, you know, everything starts out with good intentions. With the intention that we are going to keep going higher. My target was up here at the 40s and the 50s. And like, this is now where you're going to want to sit down. This is going to get ugly. But yeah, as you can see, this is where the wheels came off. Market just continued to roll over. I started to DCA like a degenerate. And it was me just, I wasn't willing to accept a loss. And ended up taking a big loss. Finally took a big loss right here below the 900s. And at that point, I was down like almost $1,000 per account. And it was not going well. I was having some very bad thoughts. And it was bad. And so I kept trying and I kept trying. And I took some very small scalps here for minimal gains. And I finally went in again. Again, I just never got myself to change my bias. I just never accepted that we are just going to continue selling off. And I got lucky. Honestly, I feel like today was a day where I didn't trade well. I should have had a lot bigger loss than I did. And honestly, got lucky on a couple of moves. I got in right here. This was probably the biggest trade. This made up for a big loss that we had here. Basically got me back to like $500 loss right here. I bought right here at the 792s. And I sold up here at the 840s. So almost a 50-point move higher. That really helped. And then from there, let's zoom in here. You guys need to really appreciate the degeneracy. And I just kept going. I kept fighting the trend all day long. And just, again, took a loss here again. And then took a decent, we got enough moves higher at the end of the day. And like you can see here, thankfully, we didn't have any major sell-offs at the end of the day, that I just kept anything below this 690. Anything below this 690, I just kept buying. I kept buying here at the lows and selling up here. And that's basically how I kind of got out of my big loss and ended the day, basically $300 loss. But it was not because of good trading. I hate when I trade like this. I absolutely hate it. And this could have just as easily resulted in me blowing all of my accounts or all of my 150K accounts. It could have just as easily resulted in that. So what do we learn from it? I have to learn from it. I've got to realize that, I have to accept losses, not fight the trend. I just got to remember the very, very basics. I feel like this morning I was trying to get a little bit too fancy and trying to buy the bottom, trying to buy that reversal. And yes, sometimes that does work, but I have to remember that my core strategy, what got me here, was trading with the trend. And I didn't do that today. Not only did we have a loss day today, but if I just trade my normal strategy, if I just flip my bias once we break down below, basically as soon as we break down below this 22,100, once we break down below that, if I just trade my normal strategy, who knows? I should have had a very nice green day. But we fought the trend and we paid the price. Thankfully, it could have been so much worse. And thankfully it wasn't. But I don't know. I'm glad that it's the weekend. And going into the weekend, I actually feel really good about today. In the grand scheme of things, only being down 300 per account, I feel really good about it. Like, I feel like I averted disaster. And got to learn from it, though. And I don't know, just I got to trade better. It's just not smart. This is not trading. This is, I'm not sure what this is, but it's not trading. So, but hey, wanted to show it to you guys. This is sometimes what happens. And it all started with, like, I've started, like, if I start trading after stream, this is like not always. Sometimes I'll be able to stream and after stream and I'll be able to trade and I follow my rules. But it seems like once the wheels start to fall off, I have a hard time walking away, and it's definitely a struggle. So, but everything's okay. We did take a little bit of hit on these accounts. Now, thankfully, on my Tradefy accounts, this $855 in profit, we're not really, I haven't even mentioned that, but this was all in the overnight session. It was a really nice price action in the overnight session again. And we trade 1 to 2 minis. We look for $900 profit, and we got it. So we're locking that down. And I mean, overall, I'm happy. I did lose two. I bought 2 Tradefy evals that I blew up as well today. So if you were here for that, but anyway, just definitely I'm hoping to take this as a learning experience and to basically not do it again. And I might break out these accounts and trade them 2 at a time instead of all 6 at one time, because having them being close to a payout is definitely affecting my trading. And I might do that just to alleviate some pressure and see if we can get them above that threshold. Also, I mean, if I get denied a payout on this request, I'm pretty sure it happened today. I don't think I did anything. I know the 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio rule. I mean, honestly, that's I don't think, I know I didn't break any of the 30% drawdown rules, but the 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio rule, that's the one thing with, if you DCA a lot, you can violate that rule very quickly. Anyway, I'm not even worried about that for now. We're going to just get these accounts across the payout threshold. We'll request, and then we'll go from there. So anyway, that is it for the recap today. Thanks again, everyone, for your support. I appreciate it. We will be back on Monday. Take care, and God bless.